Hey, WokeNFree Nation, Newsly is an audio app for iOS and Android. It picks up web articles about the most trending topics on the web at any given moment and reads them to you in a natural human voice.
For the first time in the history of the internet, the entire web becomes listenable. Browse articles from topics you choose and start playing. Stop scrolling, start listening.
You can follow any topic as specific as you like, from sports, science, to Bitcoin, or even one of your favorite celebrities. It will find you the latest articles and read them to you aloud.
And they have podcasts as well. Explore trending podcasts from over 50 countries. Our podcast, WokeNFree, is there too.
Now let's get into the episode. Hi, it's Natasha.
And Khalil.
And we are the co-hosts of
WokeNFree.
Thank you for tuning in to our 252nd episode of WokeNFree. If you've been tuning in every week for WokeNFree Wednesday, you know that WokeNFree is all about being real and honest with each other and you. We talk about everything and anything important to us, you, the world, and nothing is off the table. This week we're doing a beautiful discussion around our own WokeNFree baby 1 year later. So what do we mean by that? Stay tuned, more to listen. But before we dive deep into the subject, a couple of things to ask. First, have you gone to WokeNFree.com to not only listen to this episode, but to download it through the Podbean app? If you haven't, please do so immediately. If you download the episode through the app, that's how you're able to join the conversation by adding in your comments. And we want to hear from you, especially the other parents of 1-year-olds and 2-year-olds and all the beautiful babies around the world. So make sure you share your thoughts with us. And so if for whatever the reason is you cannot download another app on the device that you listen to podcasts on, a couple of tears are shed, but what you can do then is go to WokeNFree.com, go in the Listen tab, and then pick your platform of choice where you're going to follow and subscribe to the show. So we are on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora. It's a WokeNFree world. We are everywhere. So go to WokeNFree.com, click on the Listen tab, and then make sure you click to follow and subscribe to the show wherever you may please. Now, also on WokeNFree.com, you can click to subscribe to follow the show through the Podbean app, which is really important. On social, you can follow us and holler at us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest, LinkedIn, and everywhere else we're on. So make sure you do that at WokeNFree. And then lastly, we would love for you to review the show. So we have some good 5-star reviews. I think we could get more. You know you want to give us some. So please go to WokeNFree.com, go in the Listen tab, and then review the show wherever you may want to. And tell us how the show's feeding into your life, what you enjoy, what you want to hear more of, etc. And now I'm going to kick it to you, Khalil.
And before we start the conversation, we're going to share a little bit about ourselves. This week we're asking, would you rather have all your teeth fall out at once or all your hair?
You have a real problem, sir.
Is this my problem or is this a problem that you're going to have to choose?
I mean, that's not even funny. Like,
yeah,
it's actually really messed up.
It's a good one. It tells a lot about you.
Okay, so,
I think.
Man, I guess I would say I would choose the latter, because I want my teeth. I already struggle with making sure I don't have a lot of dental work going on. So I would not have wanted to have invested all the thousands of dollars in getting dental work to then lose all my teeth. So I'll keep my teeth and wear a wig.
Oh, so you choose the former, not the latter.
Yeah, I want to keep
teeth?
all my teeth. I don't want to. I'd lose all my hair. I'm saying.
So you'd rather have? Oh, so you would rather have your hair fall out?
Mm-hmm. I want to keep my teeth. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I think I would have to agree with that because I think teeth are important and you use them to eat. So if you were stranded on an island, I think you want your teeth. You don't care much about your hair. That's not a big deal. Like, I mean, it's
in the context of living on the island or in life. Okay.
Both. I mean, just think if you can't survive on an island without it, then you know that you need it. So you need your teeth more than you need your hair.
I like that. That's your comparison point.
That's what you got to think about,
you're
though.
You're really living in that survivalist mentality.
You got to think realistically. What do you really need? You need your teeth. You don't need your hair.
COVID is doing wonderful things to you, is what I would say.
I mean, you can, the teeth are going to be hard to replace. You can't just put wooden teeth in your mouth, and you can't build that yourself.
Can't be like George Washington, eh?
Yeah, that was fake, but yeah, you can't do that either. Can't do that fake stuff that everybody talks about.
Yeah.
That's not how it goes.
That sounds gross.
I'm going to go with let him the hair fall out just like you.
Oh, okay.
That'll be my choice. And, we can definitely learn lessons from the things that we chose from that scenario.
Yes.
But can you tell us about your top 5 lessons learned during KJ's first year of life?
Yes. Well, given that this is WokeNFree baby 1 year later, then I guess we will go into our top 5 things that we learned during his first year of life. So for me, number 1, without a doubt, is mom guilt is an actual real thing. So in our household, we are privileged to be able to both be home, but doing different things typically during the day. I'm working on the computer. You're working on running behind and around our little one. And I would say that as much as both forms of work are valid, as a mom, I feel definitely very guilty that I'm not there for every single minute, even though I am usually a room away. Yeah. It's just hard because someone's got to pay the bills. So we've got to, divide and conquer, but that's definitely a real thing to feel guilty for not seeing every single second, even though he could care less as long as he's throwing food and screaming at the top of his lungs. I think he's feeling good about things.
That's what it's about.
We'd have to ask him, I guess. But there's that. Next, I would say sacrifice is a must to be a parent, but you definitely still want to reserve time and space for you each and every day. You cannot put off me time for Saturdays and Sundays. That's unhealthy and unrealistic and not sustainable. You also then, if you try to push back your me time, you're going to end up resenting your child or the duties of parenthood. So even if it's 5 minutes, even if it's 5 minutes in the bathroom, you've got to designate time for you each and every day. So for me, just for folks to what does that look like? For me, that looks like listening to music. That looks like going for a walk. That looks like going to the gym, swimming, getting my nails did, doing self-care Sundays where I spend more than 5 minutes, pretty much like 2.5 hours, doing my hair and face masks and all of that good stuff. So feeling good about that. Do I still have mom guilt when I do those things? Yes, but nonetheless, you still got to do it. Number 3 is live and die by your calendar. I, as you know, and KJ knows, am a regimented person, and life becomes really challenging if you don't. The baby
knows that? That's a good one.
He knows what's up. He knows. Mother knows.
Okay, if you say so.
He knows. We have to live and die by a calendar. Now, you don't live and die by the calendar, which is problematic.
Yeah, whose fault is that? Exactly.
KJ. Definitely not my fault.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
right.
I know.
You're
I
saying
know my
different
business.
types of information now.
I know my business.
You're supposed to be telling people the truth, but I don't know what
I am telling the truth. You don't live and die by your calendar.
But
that's your fault.
That?
Your fault. But we have different approaches to life, so that's why. And so for me, I find it much more easier to segment each of the tasks that I have for my life. And yes, I've cut back on my to-do list. My to-do list used to be 40 things long. Now it's probably between 6 to 12 for the day. And I have to have it baked into the calendar. So I suggest to all parents, whether your child is 18 or 8 seconds old, try to find the time on a daily and a weekly basis to adjust your calendar and live by it. Next, be present. Cherish the moments when they happen. Once they're gone, they're gone. You can't get it back. So when you are there, instead of being on your phone, Spend time smiling at your baby, talking to your baby. If your baby is a 12-year-old, find out how their day is going. Be present, be emotionally connected to this life that you've given, because you're going to regret not building that emotional trust and relationship with your baby. And then lastly for me would be, parenting is a lot, but one of the most beautiful and rewarding parts of it is being able to intentionally break generational curses. And it feels good because, for instance, I tell KJ I love him every day. I constantly hug and kiss him. And that was not something that I experience in my life on a daily basis. And I know that for him, that type showing love and affection is going to be normalized for him. And it's not going to be something that he has to work into or find comfort with, because he would expect nothing less. And I feel really good about being able to identify those gaps in my own childhood and then correcting it for the next generation. So he will learn to also hopefully do that and impart that in his own life. And I feel really good about that. So those are my top 5 lessons. How about you?
All right. Well, my first one is that babies, they grow up fast, is what I've noticed. So one thing they're doing something, but the next day they just like do something that you can never imagine them doing. You're like, wow, you're like a person now. Aww. So you got to make sure you watch them and take notice, because they will grow up right before your eyes. The second thing is that babies, they do love routines. So try to stick to it, or else it's going to bite you in the end. That's what I've learned. That
works well with you living and dying by calendar.
No, you don't have to have a calendar. You can have an internal clock that's just tied to doing stuff on time.
Clicks on time.
No, it's internal. It runs and it works pretty well for animals. So for the other animals, they do it. So people can use that too.
Sure.
So that's what's cool. Like a baby doesn't even have a calendar, so that's what's interesting.
They do, though.
No, they don't.
They do.
They give you can make them a calendar, but they truly don't have a calendar themselves. So that's what I like.
Agree to disagree.
They have an internal clock, though, and that's what you got to learn to just jive with that. The third thing is that it's actually easy to push through the lack of sleep when you're a parent.
Jeez Louise.
Because that's the thing. You're not going to get sleep, so you might
Don't
not
say
realize.
That. It's going to be staggered, and it's going to be
but
less than what
you're
not what you're normally accustomed to.
Whatever you got, you get
unless
less.
You naturally had an insomniac, then
I mean, I guess if you're already, but no, I think even
insomniacs would struggle with that.
They would, well, not struggle, but they're just going to get less sleep even. So maybe that's helpful for them. I don't. It's
feed into the insomnia.
Yeah, it's good because they'll be up and they can, take care of the baby.
So full
when the baby's
on zombie
up.
mode. Nice.
Yeah. So that's good if you're an insomniac and you're a parent. It's a nice ordeal because you don't have to worry.
Truth. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The fourth one is that even though babies, they might not like a new food you give them, if you take like 20 tries, eventually it could be their favorite. That's what I found
Persistence is the key with feeding them.
Well, when it comes to food, it's not like a person. Because, when people try calamari, they spit it out immediately.
There you go, being judgmental.
No, I'm just saying what some people do. I'm not saying if I do that or you do that.
Mr. White Cauliflower.
But I know you look at certain foods and you say, I would never. And you turn up your nose to it.
I say that, Khalil.
Yeah, no, to certain foods you do that.
What about yourself?
If it's like a bite-sized thing on a plate.
Why are you bringing me into the conversation? Talk about yourself.
No,
these are your lessons. These are your insights.
It's my lesson, but with an example,
I'm
with
not
you
the baby in the household. Just FYI.
This example it makes you understand what the baby goes through, though,
Shameful.
and how you're so much different than the baby because you don't. I can't get you to eat a food after 20 tries. It's not like you're not going to change your mind after the first. You've never
tried to do that.
I've never tried to give you a food 20 times in a row.
No, you are not
in a row.
Not
20 times I haven't done that.
That different of a person.
That's what that takes is difference.
Yes.
To do that. But that's what I'm saying. I'd only give you a food once, and if you say you don't like it, I would ask you, would you want to try it again?
That I'm not the toddler in the household.
I'm giving you a good comparison point because it's like when you take the baby, you got to compare it to somebody who's doing something normal.
And I encourage you to do the comparison to yourself.
Don't bring up somebody who's a good example, though.
I encourage you to be that good example.
I want you to just understand and I'll burn you up because
I think you should understand yourself.
It makes the most sense.
Good.
It makes the most sense in this context. So you love being in my example. So that's what's good.
God bless.
You appreciate it. You know that. See, eventually, if I do 20 tries, it may work with you.
No, thank you.
If I put you in 20 examples, you're not going to like it?
No, thank you.
We'll see. We're going to test the theory of that on you, but not with food. And the last thing I learned is that babies, they can be on then off and hot then cold. They just change in an instant. Yeah. So a good example is that they might be really energetic and throwing their toys around. And then in 1 second, they pass out. Or 1 second later, they pass out. Like, go to sleep.
Why is that an important lesson to know?
Because then it makes you know that, man, even though they're energetic, they still got to sleep at some point. Okay. So it's just a good thing to know.
The engine eventually turns off. Gotcha.
Yeah, but and it can cut out at any time though. It's not like a typical engine. It could just say, "Oh, that's it. I'm out of here." And they show that in the movie Boss Baby too, where the Boss Baby says, "Time to nap," and then he's out. That's it. He goes right to sleep.
Yes.
So that's a good thing that babies can do. It's a great power that they have.
Okay, and
I wish I had that power to sleep like that. Sleep on demand. Just say, "Oh, nap
I think
time."
You're getting close.
Bam.
I think you're getting real close.
I wish I could do that. I can't do nap on demand, but I can go to sleep because I have lack of it, so I can sleep now.
Correct. And overall, what has been the overall best part of this last year with KJ?
The best part? Well, the first thing, like watching him grow up in front of my eyes, watching him become a human. An adult human, I guess would be the phrase.
Older,
because he's just a bite-sized human now. A big bite-size. I still think of him as small, but I know he's big for his size. Yeah.
Yes, big, small baby. Yeah.
But I think when I see big things, I think of them as small, and other people might think they're big.
Okay.
Like big dogs, I think they're small to me.
Gotcha.
And then
they're smaller than you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, basically,
Gotcha.
I guess. Okay. I mean, I don't know.
Point of reference, yeah.
If I saw a giant, I don't know if I would say then they're small.
Like, look at this small giant.
Maybe, yeah, comparing to another giant. If you see two giants, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I usually think I think of things as smaller, and some people will call them big.
Gotcha. I would say
that's what I do.
For me, my favoriteest part of this last year with KJ has just been the emotional deepening and bonding with him. So going from figuring out like, what does this little beautiful small angel want, and trying to guess, and then like following your intuition, and then also having more cues from him as to like, yes, mommy, this does work. He does like it. He laughs, and then building routine with him. So playing the same game with him over and over again. And then also certain phrases that make him laugh. Like I like building consistency and like seeing what he, like knowing in my mind, oh, he's going to like this. And then seeing in actuality just makes me feel like a superhuman, like I figured out this person, at least for this stage. I know that every stage is different. So, within 0 to 1, I'm feeling really good about the connection and the understanding. We can definitely revisit, and we will have to on an annual basis and say, okay, where are we at between 1 to 2, 2 to 3 and beyond? And God willing, right? Every day is a blessing and a gift, and just being very grateful and celebratory for that. But, it's just beautiful, like, just seeing him happy and just seeing him be silly. And also, what's his favorite thing currently to do now? Shake his head and say no. So
yeah,
that's been a real
already.
riot. Yeah, he's into the nose.
And he learned that from eating food and not wanting to eat that certain meal that's really good for him.
Thing.
Yeah, so that's what he started shaking in his head, and he said, "Oh, that means no." So I use that for other stuff.
Yep, and now it's no all day. So.
Yeah, now he knows to do that.
Nice.
And tell us no about everything. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? It's scenario time, guys. Scenario 1. Wakenya is very determined to give her all at the government job she's worked for the past 10 years. She gets pressured every day from her parents, asking when she will get married and give them a grandchild. Do you think it makes sense for her to have a child?
Oh, wow, what an interesting question. So, and just so I understand, does she actually want children or no?
She's not sure. She just loves to work, though.
Loves her job. Okay.
Yeah.
So, wow. First and foremost, People like to think that I said I didn't want to have children, but just to get it all corrected on all fronts, I was always 50-50, even as a child, on it. Obviously, now being a mother, the answer is hard yes. But for her in this scenario, if she's not really sure, then she's going to need to probably figure out how to be a little bit more definitive on that before she can pursue that life decision, because I would hate for her to make that decision and then regret it down the road. And also it has nothing to do around the timeline around what her parents want. If they want another child, they're welcome to adopt one or go and foster. People have got to stop living in other people's uterus on all fronts. And so I think she needs to sit with self and start to figure out what does her life look like. And great that she has a career that she's all into and loves it, regardless if it's a government job or not. At the end of the day, having happiness with your career is a blessing, regardless of the type of employer it is.
So even if you're at a government job, it's okay to give your all, is what you're saying.
I'm saying you should give your all in whatever's important to you and whatever you're passionate about. If that happens to be a government job, God bless you. If that happens to be entrepreneurship, God bless you. If it happens to be both, God bless you. Like, do you whenever you want, however you want. I don't know what type of shade you're throwing here.
Why is there shade throwing here?
That's how I'm interpreting it.
Why was there any shade?
But I'm going to kick it to you. What is your answer in this scenario?
Oh, my answer is I understand why the parents are trying to pressure her, Kenya, for getting the child, because they want to guarantee their place in the future of the planet Earth. So that's why they're doing that. They're thinking for selfish reasons. So I do understand why they're pressuring her. Mm-hmm. But the problem is I don't know if they know her, because if she's just giving her all at this government job she's working, I don't know if she's really about that life. I mean, that's what I think. So I would say she should not have a child at this point.
Wow.
She should just see if things happen naturally, because obviously, or it might not be obvious, but it seems like she's not in a serious relationship or anything. So I don't
Which is not
believe
a preclusion from having children.
That's your thoughts. I don't believe that.
Well, physically it's not. You can't go and have a child.
But I'm actually against
you support
people
folks doing it in a more traditional manner, you're suggesting.
I don't think people should be having a child if they're just trying to raise this child on their own. I think they need
as
two
said
person.
By me, Nurse, not the platform of WokeNFree or the consensualness of both of us.
You have your own opinions, but
Correct.
my personal opinions is you should have two parents raising a child or more. Two or more parents raising a child.
Stated and believed
by
Khalil.
I'm okay with 40 parents, whatever, but it has to be more than one. That's stated by me.
Okay.
So I don't think it makes sense for her, because she's not in a serious relationship as far as we know. So yeah, that's my answer.
All right.
Scenario 2. Natasha is a compassionate mother of 10 children. She says she loves them all equally and is thinking of having one more. Do you think she can learn anything else from having another baby?
Sure, how to go mad.
So 10, you're still sane, though. That's cool. That's what you're saying.
No, I think you lost. That ship has sailed
already. Right. So what are you learning?
This is just going into the deep end of complete release from reality.
Oh, good. At least there's more levels to go. You're not lower than, the sea level, I guess. So that's good.
I'm joking.
Oh, you're joking.
No. I think every child, to be honest, brings a new lesson and a new opportunity of learning and growth for you. I personally am not a fan of the idea of a large family, only because I have a personality, I think, that doesn't lend for that behavior or that lifestyle choice. However, I commend anyone who does feel capable and has a desire for that. That is not the life that I would want for myself. That sounds like a horror story. But that's my personal belief.
So you think that could be a film series or something?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that if you I think people
mess with a special ghost and you get 30 children.
Okay, well, that went different. How I don't possibly.
Because you said it's like a horror film, so that's what it'd be. Don't touch the ghost, or else 30 children become yours
That's
automatically.
my mind is going to sick places when you're saying this scenario. So
it's not supposed to be sick.
Yeah,
it's just what I thought about because you said you said it's a scary film.
I would say that if she is financially capable of caring for more children and has the bandwidth to care for more children, and it doesn't impact the health or wellness of all children involved, then I'm an advocate for her doing that if that is what she wants. If any of those parameters are not met, then I would not recommend that lifestyle choice.
All right. Mm-hmm. So you don't recommend it, but you think she can learn something.
I would only not recommend it if there's going to be deficiency among the children or deficiency in her life. If there's no deficiency, then have at it. But I personally would not recommend such a decision, no.
Even though, getting back to the question, but do you think she could learn anything?
Oh, 1,000%, yeah.
So she can, okay.
I think you can learn anything from any scenario in your life, so yeah.
All right. So this one's funny to me, because I say, since she has 10 children already, I know you're talking all that stuff like, yeah, she can have another one, and as long as she'll be able to care for and all that. I don't go for all that. I say that she has 10 children already, so to me, she can't love all of them equally. She's gonna love some more than the other. And she has this next baby. I think that she might not be able to learn anything from the baby because she's too busy running after all the other kids. I can't see it helping. I could see this child being neglected, or what I could see happen is one of two things. Either the child neglected or the child takes over and she puts more of her energy towards this child and somebody else loses some of that.
But it doesn't
attention.
preclude the idea that the other children might help. We don't know the ages. She could have children who are 18 to 7.
That's true. It's possible.
So those children in those age groups are able to help. Is that fair and nice to do that to children to make them mini parents?
I still think that could be a form of neglect depending on how much they're helping.
Absolutely.
You got to help your siblings. That's fine. But you can't be a nanny kind of thing. You shouldn't be. That's like all you do. You need time for yourself to be a child.
A lot of parents, unfortunately, do that because it's just a necessity in the household for everyone to get by. But yeah, I mean, again, it's a hard space because, right, this question in nature is a little bit judgmental. And so.
Because we should think about it realistically. Humans aren't supposed to have 10 children, right?
So I'm not the divine creator of life. So I can't answer that question.
Wow.
Should people do? I think your life is a reflection of what you want it to be. So if in some people's minds, their life is to procreate and have 20 children, then that's what their life is for. For some people, having children is a complete nightmare and they want none of it. So, I think that life is a subjective landscape that you need to craft and mold for yourself. And there isn't a one answer fits all for all people because people are not one size fit all. We're all beautiful, different unicorns. So for her, this might be her journey. Her journey might end up getting her to 14 children. And that might sound absolutely nuts to someone else, but it is not for someone else's journey. So
you may not be able to say what the limit is, but there is a limit because it's the same thing as having too much salt. There's a limit to how much salt we can take for our diet, right?
But what
Maybe
if
you don't know
Natasha lives in a household where she has 25 nannies? Having 11 children isn't that crazy then, right? We just don't know her resources. We don't know her capabilities.
Should she start to adopt then? I mean, then you start to question that. What about those other kids?
Could adopt as well. Yeah, and you didn't, and by this example, you didn't, it's not clear if all children are born to her or are adopted or kin, so a lot of variety.
Yeah, this is open. Yeah. It's definitely an open scenario. So, our listeners probably have different things that they would do in this scenario.
Put it in the comments, y'all.
Scenario 3. Dakota is always traveling across her native country, searching for the best living she can afford. She's expecting her second child around the holiday time and is wondering if she should treat the new child exactly the same as her older child.
Oh, that's an interesting question. So by default, I believe that children are in different stages. And so as a parent, it is your duty and obligation to treat such children as according to the stage that they're in. So someone who's in the age group of 0 to 1 has different needs and requirements than someone who's 7 to 8, 10 to 11, every stage is different. So how that's phrased to me by default, I would say no. You should not treat the child exactly the same, because also children have different temperaments. They have different, what if one is special needs? Every child is different. So I would prescribe or answer this to say that you should understand who your child is and try to parent in a way that best nourishes and fosters positive enrichment and growth for that individual. And may that be similar to her older child? Sure. But don't take the first child and just copy paste onto the second one. This might be a whole different bag of gum, a whole different bag
popcorn.
Of beans or popcorn to deal with. Learn the new child, understand the new child's needs, and then parent accordingly.
Yeah, what if one child's kettle corn and one is the caramel sprinkled corn?
Feeling hungry?
I'm just giving a good example because you brought up the bags of stuff, so the only thing I can think is bags of food.
Listen, someone could be popcorn, someone could be actual, like, corn, baked corn. It's people.
Oh, it could be bag of Legos, too.
Correct.
What if one is a bag of blue Legos, one's a bag of yellow Legos?
It's a whole different
You treat
bag.
them different. They're different colors. So I don't know. You do.
Everyone's different, and it's really important. And I really want to encourage people to really hone in on the individuality of the child. It's a different entity. It's a different person. Know your kid and parent how they need to be parented.
Yeah, I think the key is that everybody is different. No individual is exactly the same. So what works for one might not work for the other, and you can't be upset about it either. You can't be like, this doesn't make sense. I mean, it's my child. Won't both children act the same? I mean, I did that to your older sibling. You're not acting the same way when I do it to you. You can't blame them. You know, everybody's different. So you gotta, like, take the situation as it is. And cause I think what's funny is often in parenting, if you look at the books, they kind of give you a general set of things to do, but you can't follow those stuff to a T. It doesn't work with every child. So you got to figure it out on your own and understand that kids are different. Like, some kids might not want to travel across the country. Yeah. Like she was doing before with her previous child. So right? That's the thing to think about. Maybe it doesn't work out for the second one. Maybe the second one wants more just permanence. Yeah. So that's the thing to think about.
Absolutely. What you can do is you can love all your children equally, possibly.
Yeah,
People argue
possibly.
that. It's, again, we're in the scenario of one, so we don't, I don't know what that contextually looks like, but one would imagine you love the child and you love all your children, and is the love...
But the love is different, though.
Does the love look the same? No, it looks different because the child is different, and the needs are different, and the relationship is different, and the setting is different. Everything's different, but the love is there, the connection is there. The goal is to continue to make multiple humans and beautiful contributors to this earth, and try to, again, hold on to that sanity along the way. I think that's critical here.
You can try.
We can try. And with that, we are at that time again. Woo! Coming to the end of our 252nd episode of WokeNFree! Losing sanity. This was quite the episode talking about WokeNFree, baby. That's what we're talking about. KJ, 1 year later. So, Khalil, what do folks have to do now?
Come back next week for the new WokeNFree Wednesday episode. Make sure you follow us on social media to follow along in the conversation, and make sure you tune in next week for WokeNFree Wednesdays to join the conversation at WokeNFree.com.
If you'd like to be a guest on the show, we are pretty much packed for this year, but we are entertaining topics and suggestions and stories for 2023. So hit us up on our contact us page at WokeNFree.com. That's WokenFree.com. On social, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest, and LinkedIn at WokenFree. And for all sponsorship and collaboration queries, hit us up on our contact us page at WokenFree.com.
If you didn't already subscribe, please do share the episode, and make sure you come back to join the conversation every Wednesday for WokenFree Wednesdays. Remember, WokenFree is more than a podcast, it is a way of life. Until next time.